So you want to know what really happened? My name is Russ Kyle. I give tours, crime tours.
One of the most popular attractions here at Golden Gate Park are the magnificent plant displays. Horticulturists and tourists alike marvel at the magnificent displays. Fauna and plants are collected from all over the world and brought here to Golden Gate Park. After dark, I wouldn't get too close to any of this foliage, for one might get stuck by a discarded syringe, or worse yet, a murderer's bloody knife. For there's a serial killer on the loose in the park who's been responsible for 3 murders. Those are the 3 murders that the cops will admit to. Yet, my sources say that there's been a lot more. It's time to pour yourself a stiff one if you're man enough and take the crime tour of Golden Gate Park, and we'll see where the mayhem really occurred. Let's start the park tour off by getting some context and take a little cruise through the neighborhood that borders the park to the north. That's the Richmond district of San Francisco. Take a look around. You'll notice there's one element missing here that's in abundance in every other San Francisco neighborhood. What's that element? Posers. Yeah, you won't find any piercing salons or double purple mohawks or yoga studios out here in the Richmond. Just hard-working people trying to catch the 38 Geary every morning on their way to work. These folks don't mind that their hood is quiet and dull. They like it that way. But these hard-working people are paying exorbitant and brutal property taxes. And they want to know why the homeless are being shoved out of the park and into their doorways. A little more context. Scattered throughout San Francisco, you've seen these types of places. Nondescript buildings with street people loitering out front. These are methadone clinics. Here, addicts can get dosed with the legal synthetic form of the opiate.
You can get a 6-month detox there, $12 a day, and that's cheaper than buying dope. I'd stick with methadone, it works for me.
And to help prevent the spread of HIV, a clean syringe at the Needle Exchange Center.
I have a lot of needle exchanges. I'm always going to be needle sharing because there isn't always going to be access. I got hepatitis C from, exchanging them, and I got a dirty poke, and I'd say roughly 90-95% of people out here have hepatitis C.
From here, the addict takes to the streets or to the bushes. Yeah! We're here in the jewel of San Francisco's imperial crown, Golden Gate Park. Ooh! People from all over the world come here to take advantage of the park's majestic views and spectacular recreational facilities. We're down here at historic Big Wreck. Any follower of the grand old game will realize this is one of the most historic fields in all of baseball. Some of the greatest players in the grand old game have cried down here. Joe DiMaggio, his brothers, Joe Cronin, Barry Bonds, Mike Norris, and Ricky Henderson have all played at this park. And your humble tour operator has struck out down here many times himself. Oh, Every day, families flock to Golden Gate Park because they feel it's safe. And the city fathers have done everything they could to make sure that the park is not plagued with the same kinds of crimes that have plagued the rest of the city. But have they done a good job? Many people say no. They say the park is besieged by the devil himself. Why? When the sun goes down at night, the power structure here in Golden Gate Park radically shifts. Public officials, cops, park rangers, Mayor Newsom, they have no authority out here at night. For the authority shifts to a faction of subcultures that reside here in the park. What they say goes. Naturally, the interactions between the people in the park is mostly fueled by drugs and alcohol. But if there is a problem, they settle it themselves. And one either gets turned out or turns up dead. Because of the disposable nature of the victims and their transient lifestyles, these crimes are rarely reported. But because of the horrific and brutal similarities between the last 3 killings, citizens and police have stood up and taken notice. The first of these 3 killings occurred not a long fly ball from this baseball diamond.
What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name would smell as sweet. So spaketh the bard. And it's difficult to imagine that there's any place on earth that smells as sweet as this place, named after the bard himself. But in the wee hours of September 8th, 2006, there was only the lingering smell of death here, as the corpse of Matthew Lister lay murdered in the grass. He had been stabbed multiple times. Shakespeare Garden, an idyllic spot for quiet reflection, was now a major crime scene. Lister was a homeless man. He had recently lost his job. He'd battled alcohol his whole life. He had been living out on the streets and in Golden Gate Park. SFPD has nothing to go on, and his case remains unsolved.